Alright, guys. Once again here with Shinja.
Hello.
Once again here with Fyxshion Reydiou. I'm a bit sick, guys, but we can handle this. We're pros. So yeah.
No problem.
Exactly.
Absolutely none.
So yeah. For today, we're going to be talking about a really good, finally, this decade mecha anime.
Is it the only mecha anime that came out? Like, there have been others, right?
Not as good as this one.
I guess you make a good point.
Yes. So yeah, Shinja, can you tell us a little bit about Darling in the Franxx?
Yeah, sure. So, Darling in the Franxx takes place in this future where basically the world has been pretty much destroyed. Mainly like they don't really explain why it's like destroyed, but like modern like civilization doesn't really exist outside of these domes. Like there's only like plant life and clean water inside of these domes. So like there's something wrong like outside, like, but they don't really go into too much detail at the beginning. Right. Until like much later. And all we know is that there is a threat to humanity that attacks these domes and prevents humanity from also collecting fuel for its energy and to like make the civilization survive and prosper. And so to fight against these creatures and monsters that are attacking humanity, humanity has developed these mechas that require two people to pilot them, that they kind of synchronize with each other. It's a male and a female.
Yeah.
And they kind of synchronize with each other to combat these monster alien thingies.
Yeah.
But it's all like it's very crucial that like these two people that pilot like the ships are also children.
Right.
Like, there are no adult soldiers.
Right.
So that's quite interesting. And there's also this whole thing there's like compatibility rates with the machines and stuff. So like, and compatibility rates with your partner. So like, not everyone is meant to like pilot these things. But yeah, our protagonist, I forget his name at the moment.
Yeah, I'm looking for the names. You're like, their names are
yeah. Well, anyway, our protagonist, he is very he excels basically at like all his tests until one day, all of a sudden, he kind of sucks. He's the worst.
Yeah, he is.
And it's because he's just not compatible with anyone anymore. He can't. Until one fateful day, he meets this mysterious girl with horns coming out of her head.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who's been able to pilot a ship with her and kind of not like, be in critical condition afterwards.
Right.
And this mysterious girl, which is also pink-haired, because anime, her name is 02, and she refers to him as Darling.
Darling.
So,
Darling.
So yeah, and then it's basically like a love story after that.
It is.
But with mechas, female mechas. That's another thing I should add. All the mechas look like women because it's basically the women's who are moving and have the personality, and
right.
The bots take on the personality of the women and stuff.
Although, it's basically like the mecha's shape, body like women.
Yeah.
Women are actually in a weird position.
Yeah. The whole thing is kind of like it's very sexual.
Very,
Um,
very sexual.
yeah, the women are in like doggy style sort of
Yeah.
thing. It's yeah, there's a lot of sexual overtones to the whole thing.
Thank God.
Like it yeah. It makes sense as a plot. But
Yes.
obviously there's a lot of innuendos that happen, and was that a little bit of fan service.
Right.
So yeah, it's great. It'll take you back. It's not for the faint of heart
Yes.
in that regard.
Yes. Like at first you're like, what the hell is this? Like the guys are right there, and the girls are like down there. Like, man, this it looks weird. But I have to say, at least these robots are not CGI. And
No.
me, Shinja. I hate CGI.
No, I get it. No, yeah, none of the fights here are CGI. Thank God. And if it is, they did a really good job.
Exactly.
You can't tell.
Exactly. But it was all not CGI, like drawn. And you could see the textures. Like it's very well animated. And the fights, wow, they remind me of Gurren Lagann fights.
Yeah.
In a very, combat level. But yeah, it's oof.
Yeah, I was reminded of what's that other mecha anime? Eureka 7.
Oh yes, a lot.
It like the whole anime in general just kind of feels like Eureka 7.
Eureka 7, yes. Oh yeah, I do. It's because it has romance in it. Darling in the Franxx has romance.
Yeah, and I mean it's like alien girl or alien looking girl or whatever falls in love with kind of normal guy. There's some history between them. It takes two to pilot the robot or whatever. It's very, very similar.
Yes. Although the romance is it's not just them two. There's the whole group actually develop and grows, and they start to like feeling for each other too. So yeah, there's characters there that are
gay romance in there too.
Oh yes, yeah. We also have that. We are in,
sort of like not really, but like
yeah, but it hints to that. I mean, come on, we're in this decade, 2019. That was the last year's anime, but yeah, it's pretty up to date kind of anime, and with romance things, and yeah, it does have besides the protagonist and 02 romance, we have others. Although we're going to still jump into spoilers because this anime has changed my perspective in a lot of ways, because I was very, very skeptical with mecha anime. I was so angry, but I was like like Kaine, my wife, she told me like, oh, you gotta watch it. I'm like, man, I'm just really tired of mecha already.
Yeah, no, I get you. But I mean, it's just, it can get repetitive.
Yeah, it does.
And some people will argue that was Darling in the Franxx because it's very reminiscent, I think, of the first Gundam.
Yeah.
Or no, not Gundam, Evangelion, I should say.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, yeah.
Yeah, and then also like I said, Eureka 7.
Oh yeah.
Like they're different enough.
Yeah. Totally.
But the basic plot line and some of the developments are like, oh, this is that anime, because it has those cliches,
Mm-hmm. But of course, it has its own things. Like I've seen other mecha anime, but this one is very different. Like they sometimes fight robots. That's because there were other group besides them. Um,
Yeah.
they were assholes.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
completely out of. They were bullies. Let's just say like that. They were bullies to the other group, and I think there was like one time that they like fight. I think they were in. I don't know what happened. I barely remember. It was last year, but yeah, they did not like each other. They were eternal rivals. Besides rival enemies, because those were also kids. Those weren't adults, or some of them were teenagers. But so yeah, there's a reason why they're kids. They explain it.
No, like it's just like I think it's the main reason is no one survives to be like adults. Like
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, there is a reason. It's very very spoilery, but if you want I could just get into it.
Go ahead, man. Like.
So basically what happens is all these kids are clones.
Oh, I remember now.
Or like not like clones, they're more like genetically made.
Yeah.
And they all have in them like some like stuff to like make them compatible with the machines. And that stuff kills them, if I'm correct. Anyway, like they all like age rapidly after a certain point, and they all die after like their teenage years. None of them make it to adulthood. There's like a few adults that exist, and I don't know why. I can't remember why. But like yeah, everyone basically dies.
Yeah.
And at the end of the anime, I remember that this was like the thing because like one of the kids actually like tries to find a cure to like let them actually grow up into adults.
Right.
But yeah, like there's only 2 adult figures that aren't like all that important, or they're not like part of the original adults or whatever. And they used to be soldiers as well or whatnot. Like there's Nana, whatever her name is, and like the other guy.
The guy with
And then
glasses.
there's yeah. And then well, no, I don't think he has glasses. It's just like the really serious guy.
Oh right. The black hair.
Yeah, like the darker skin guy,
Yeah.
kind of. Or was he darker skin?
I think he was
It's like
white.
tan.
I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, like most of the adults, they live underground, and they don't have sex or anything. Like they gave up sex for immortality.
Yep.
So yeah, so everyone lives forever.
Yeah, it's it sounds crazy, but it's like this is post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. Like they all want immortality, so they give up sex, but you need to have functioning reproductive organs to pilot the mechas,
Right.
so that they can create clones / children, like to be able to pilot the mechas,
Yeah.
and so they're, you know, horny.
Yeah.
So they can actually pilot.
Yes. Although this is another spoiler. Now that you're talking about that, one of the characters actually gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a shocker, because I was like, okay, these two are totally in together, and then all of a sudden she starts like touching her belly. I'm like,
Yeah, she's not pregnant yet. No, she wasn't even pregnant yet. She's like, make me pregnant. And he's like, what? She's like, I want to baby. I read it in a book. I want it.
Yeah, like literally, like you can see like these characters. They don't actually. They're very innocent. They're
Yeah.
like they just live so closed, and barely live in the outside world, which the outside world is basically destroyed. Uh,
Yeah.
but they just read books, and those books will teach them a lot of things, and they learn way too fast. And
Yeah.
then when they start feeling these kinds of things, they just want it like, okay, let's have it now.
Yeah.
Let's be horny now.
Well, the thing is, the characters that we follow, they are also a special group. Like
Yes, yes.
every other group of kids, like they are under close monitoring,
Very, yeah.
and like they're very strict with them. They don't let them like develop on their own. This group, they wanted to do a special experiment with them, and they let them just do whatever they wanted. Like, you know, they were still monitoring them, but
Yeah.
they were way more lax with them, so they could do whatever they wanted to. And so one of the things I guess that ended up happening is just like, yeah, like they found out about reproduction, and they're like, I want to have a baby. But yeah, no one knows even what like kissing is. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, not even that. Like, this is how innocent these kids are, and like, that's the charm of it. That's the unique of this anime. These kids grow up together. They don't know anything. They just very innocent. They just, even though they're in their teens, because they basically grow up, of course. They start, feeling these kinds of things, and they just don't know how to manage them. And there it goes. One of them got pregnant. We're telling you guys this because, I mean, this is what you're going to see. But obviously, this is not a hentai anime slash mecha. Come on. No, this is not
it's not. Don't think you're watching like Elfen Lied.
Oh, no.
or anything like that.
Yeah,
like,
it's not that.
It has sexual overtones or undertones or whatever you want to call it. Like, but it's not. It like you're not gonna get to see any action. Like the closest you get is like there's a beach like episode. Because every anime needs to have a beach episode.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, nothing like it's not like what's another anime that did that? Like I'm forgetting, but there's one where like it's kind of the same premise. It's future, and then everyone's in like in the society where they like give you specific roles, and then like at a certain age everyone becomes gay, but then they go back to being straight.
Man, what the hell are you watching?
It's an old anime. My whole point is that like because that's the whole plot of this anime is just like like well not the whole plot of this anime is being gay. It's just that like there's a certain point where like everyone hits puberty, and during puberty everyone becomes gay. So like there's literally a scene of like everyone making out with each other, but like you're not gonna see that in this anime.
Exactly. These kids hit puberty, and like it's very human. It's very natural when they actually.
It's more wholesome too.
Yes, and it's something that if you've seen let's see this film, Blue Lagoon, was it?
Blue Lagoon. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah. The two protagonists get with their uncle in this island. Their uncle die, and they're just kids. And when they hit puberty, They just
Oh,
start to
that one.
experimenting, and like they were still kids in their mind, and obviously they just did not know how to approach the feelings that, you know, of puberty like that. Like it's just hit on the wall. Like, okay, what is this feeling? That's what these characters are facing in this anime, and each of one of them faced it in a different way. There's so besides of the drama, of course, let's talk about the mecha.
Yeah.
So the mecha fights, they're fighting aliens. These aliens come. What are the aliens? It's just
It gets
weird
complicated.
Yeah, it's
Because it's not aliens. They're the original Earthlings. Like, we find out that, like, humanity, we are the aliens. And we came, like, another planet at some point and landed on this planet because it was uninhabited. But we're like we're like the new Earthlings, so we do belong here. But the original Earthlings, they were hibernating underneath the real Earth, because they were fighting another alien race that's after like their energy source and spreading their like. They're like this hive mind sort of thing where they absorb other like races and stuff, and like they make you into their race.
Yeah.
So the original Earthlings are underneath the Earth, hibernating and building up power, and they converted their bodies into like weapons and energy and stuff, the mechas basically, to fight off the other aliens. But because we are basically helping the aliens, the original Earthlings are fighting us as well. So it just gets more complicated.
Like yes, most definitely. It's
and it all happens in like the span of 2 episodes. You know, like for most of the series, it's just like pretty self-explanatory, like humans versus the underground aliens, and then all of a sudden they throw in this third alien group or whatever, and it's like what? And like the plot changes drastically.
Very drastically, because these monsters is just like yeah, they some of them come from the sky and some from the underground, correct?
The Earthlings they all come from the ground.
Come from the ground, okay.
Yeah. The only ones that come from the sky are the bad aliens.
Right. So every time these things want to make something, the team gets like a siren warning, like, yeah, we need to get out and fight. And wow, it's the stakes are high. This is not like, okay, let's just fight and then we just like normally we survive. Like these kids, like they were like this time that in a verge of death. Like, are they going to survive that? Because there's some of the fights and one of the episodes, a couple of episodes, that they were fighting some of these aliens. I thought that one of them was not gonna come out alive, and you can feel that in this anime. It's not that like, okay, there's a protagonist, the plot armor, and then no, these kids actually, the stakes are very high. You don't know if they're going to survive or not. I mean, it's up to I think it's the girl who is actually the if they go in blank, the robot goes out, and if it doesn't move, it's doom and gloom. It's you're dead. Yeah,
It gets pretty close.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it all has plot armor in a way. It's just like,
yeah, of course.
Everything works out for the best.
The plot
It's
armor.
not a depressing anime. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Although a lot of people did not like the ending, which I fully love the ending. It was so unique. Uncliche. And it felt like, okay, I felt so satisfied because, okay, like they went to, another spoiler, whatever, they went to space. The two protagonists, 02 and the guy, oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Yeah. It starts with an H probably, I forget.
Yeah. They become one with the robot.
Basically
they
become one being, and
yeah,
they
become the thing in Topagurelagan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They become like that, and then they like, yeah, it's like we live forever together as one. Very Gurren Lagann-esque in a way, except Gurren Lagann had a very different ending. But
of course, yeah.
For some reason, it gives me that mixed with Eureka 7.
Yes. But yeah, they both managed to sacrifice themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's right now. I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, wow, the plot armor wasn't there, huh?
Well, this is different, I guess. It's just a different ending. No one actually
expected.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's but whatever.
Yes. They actually lasted fighting that thing for how long?
Years.
Years.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So like, because the kids were still like, they were just turning into adults.
Yeah,
no,
like,
they're not even.
Like
they're
the
like
whole
teens
team grew
still.
up. The whole team freaking grew up, and they were still fighting.
Yeah. It
was a weird feeling. Like hoping for them to come back, but I was like, man, these two are gonna die in space.
Basically, it's kind of like, their friend leaves because it's like, it's because of love, but
yeah.
It almost like, in another way, you could be like, yeah, dude was just horny as F, like, it's like, see you guys, I'm going with my waifu to get laid. Except it doesn't happen because
yeah, exactly. It's just
weird, like, it's more spiritual.
Yeah, it is. But that's so unique, man. I totally love. Do you like the ending or you did not?
I don't, honestly, I don't know. it left me feeling weird.
Right, right. Totally feel you. Yeah.
That's the only thing about it. It's just like I think I like it, but I just, I feel like, what?
Yeah, fully agree. Yeah, I totally felt that at the beginning. I'm like, damn, it's such a weird feeling right now. But then I fully understand, like, okay, I accept it. It's like a term of acceptance, if that's the word.
Yeah. Anyway, I think a lot of people can enjoy it, and especially if you not watched mecha anime before, this is probably a good one to start with.
Yes.
And you'll definitely like it
if you're old enough.
Before.
If you're old enough, okay.
Parental warning.
Yes. So this anime, it's rated R.
No.
Yeah, it's
PG-13.
a PG-13.
PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13 is the new R. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah.
So, fully recommend this anime. You have not seen it. It's very unique. It has its charm. good characters, good development, good mecha fights, good mecha and alien fights. We also have both, so fully recommended.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, this will be it for tonight. This has been Zyberpunky.
And this has been Shinja.
We'll see you guys later.
See ya.